All right. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Today we've got Ryan King with CBG Builders. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. Just to give you a little bit of background about how Ryan and I connected, Ellen actually introduced us. Ellen had made contact with him, and basically, kind of the beginning of the relationship has been Ryan's a custom builder focusing primarily in southeastern North Carolina. He will build on your lot. So if you've got somebody who owns some vacant land or who's been looking for land and they need a builder to consult with, you can connect with Ryan. How we are looking to work with him, and Ryan, I know you've been waiting on me. I'm still waiting for my client to get back to me. Is what's a problem with listing vacant land? We all know it's difficult to sell just blank land, right? People don't know where to start. Financing is an issue. Even if they have the money for the land, figuring out what to do with it can be overwhelming at times too. So to be able to present vacant land with a build package to go with it is where Ryan comes in. Basically, we look at the land with him, and then he gives us some options for us to consider that we think would be a good fit for that piece of property in that given marketplace. Like I'm looking at Sneed's Ferry, I think Ellen's is in Hampstead. So you want to pick something that makes sense for that particular area. And then you can work together with the seller. You've got a price for the land itself. You can continue to market the land by itself if anybody just wants to buy the land, but you can create a second listing in MLS, which packages the land and a home package together. And then we give them something to get the conversation started. So we pick a plan, we put it out there. We work with Ryan to figure out what the pricing would be, making sure that the seller is still paid for their land. But now you've got something kind of you can almost see and touch with regards to an option to build to kind of entice other builders. And they don't have to build that specific property that's listed. What we're trying to do is get a conversation started so we can get them in front of Ryan and they're like, yeah, we really like this land. Now we've got some direction and an idea what we can do as far as actually building. And now we can go forward. So Ryan, hopefully I didn't take too much of your thunder there, but I kind of wanted to give them a baseline. So I'll turn it over to you. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company and go from there.
Sure. Yeah. No. Doug, I think you did a pretty good job. I can try to touch base if you guys have any questions outside of what Doug just covered, but basically, yeah, he's absolutely right. I'm a licensed commercial and residential builder in North and South Carolina, primarily focusing in Brunswick County, but I go as far up right now, currently as Duplin County. But I'm pretty much open to any area, any piece of land that you guys might have listed, and working with you on that. I don't know if you want me to go over kind of commission structure and all that, Doug, or you want me to jump into that? Okay. So in a perfect world, what's going to happen is we're going to partner together and create that home package for MLS. And then my company will sign a standard listing agreement with your company. Now the buyer is going to see it kind of as one transaction at first, but we're always going to try to break it up into two because you already have your agreement with your landowner with commissions and set forth. And I'm always going to advise any client of mine that we're going to close on the land first before I'm never going to want to put a shovel in the ground on a piece of dirt that they don't own. So your landowner is going to get paid off immediately. You're going to make commissions on that immediately. And then you'll also make commissions on the construction agreement side or home package side of that as well. And how that works is that really depends on how we bring the buyer to the table. Because I'm going to market this as well on my side through social media and my outlets. If I bring the buyer, it's 2% to you guys. If you bring the buyer, it's 3% to you guys. If another agent brings the buyer, it's 5%. And you guys can split that amongst yourselves. Doesn't really matter to me how you do it. Typically 2.5, 2.5. But again, that's between you and the other agent. I also do a flat out referral fee. So if you do give anybody my name, they do end up signing a construction agreement with me. I would do write you a flat referral fee of $5,000. Does anybody have did that kind of cover what you were looking for, Doug?
I think that's the ins and outs of kind of the how the relationship works. Could you give them a little bit more insight as kind of like the meeting that we went through as far as how you give us options to kind of consider, to look through, to consider on our own, but maybe also to sell to share with the seller to make sure they feel good about kind of the package that we would be offering and advertising on their land.
Yeah, kind of what you could do to kind of get ahead of it, put together maybe something on your end. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Can I share my screen with you?
absolutely.
I'm gonna share with everybody. Does everybody see this screen right here?
Yeah, I can
All
see
my
it.
all my fun emails.
Yeah.
So initially, if you have a piece of property in mind, or you want to do a little bit of research, get ahead of the game on your own, what you're gonna do, very first thing you're gonna do, we're gonna find the lot that we're looking for, of course. Now that could depend on the different county that it's in, but let's pretend we're looking for something in Brunswick County. We're gonna click on Brunswick County. It's just an easy, and we're gonna go to that GIS map. Is everybody familiar with kind of the GIS maps? So every county's gonna have one. We'll pick uh, pick one that I'm currently working with a realtor on, Lainey Pierce, if anybody's familiar with Lainey. Don't tell her I mentioned her name, in case you're not. I'm just joking. But we're going to pull up the parcel. We're going to look at it. We're going to pull dimensions for the parcel, and this is really all we need. And it'll pop up. So that's the kind of the perimeter that we're going to play in. And then we're going to have to just know the setbacks. Now we can run off county setbacks if it's not inside of an HOA or an ARB. If it is inside of an HOA or ARB, usually those setbacks take precedent over any county or town setbacks because they like to play by their own rules. But as long as we have the setbacks, then we can start picking out the home footprint that we want to put inside that setback. So let's just say we can go 80 wide and 100 deep. We jump on. I really like to use this website, and I'll tell you why. It's called Advanced House Plans. Literally thousands of house plans on this website. And you can filter from minimum square footage to maximum square footage. A lot of ARBs or HOAs have those in place already. Like we can only build, a minimum of 1,400 heated or something like that. If you go two-story, sometimes they say it can only be minimum, 1,400 on the first floor, but you have to have at least, 400 on the second floor. Sometimes they play around with those rules and the covenants and restrictions, but for this simple demonstration, we'll just say we're looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath house, and we'll click on it. And let's just say we like this house here, the one in the middle. The very first thing I look for is pictures. That's what's going to be really important to you guys as well, because this is what we need for marketing purposes, right? What we want to put on MLS. People love looking at photos. This one has a bunch of them. I always kind of scan through. These are pretty good ones. We have to watch out for like something like this here. See how it says down? We don't have any basements in this area. Not sure if you guys are working with any lots that allow basements. So we just watch out for that. We'll say something in MLS, or if you guys want to edit that, doesn't really matter. Saying, obviously the basement is optional, but in this floor plan, we can extend the master bedroom. We can really do whatever we want. And that's where I run in with a lot of realtors. They're always text me and ask me, can we do this? Can we do that? And the answer is always going to be yes. As long as we play inside the ARB guidelines, right? So as long as the ARB allows it, if there is no ARB, then we can pretty much get away with whatever we want, as long as the city or town isn't going to have any problems with that. But typically, the ARBs in any neighborhoods, all they're concerned about is the exterior of the home. They're not really concerned about with what we do inside of it. So it doesn't really matter. So we pick out a floor plan that we really like. We scan through the photos that we really like. This is the most important tool and why this website is so helpful. Does everybody see this little toolbar over here? You click on estimate, and this is what's going to give you a build cost. So let's say for MLS purposes, we're always going to choose builder grade finishes because we're trying to hit that perfect MLS price point. Guys, this is for marketing. This is really just kind of get the phones ringing, right, on pieces of property that we have. Then we type in our zip code 28446. We'll go 28468. That's the number that we're looking for. So like that's a basic build cost on average for your area, your market based on your zip code. So let's say it's 268 is our build cost. We always have to add in our land cost. Let's say our land cost is 100 grand just for easy math. So we're at 368. So we know that we can go to MLS anywhere really above 368 or 369.9, and we're going to be fine, right? Now, that really falls on you guys pulling local comps in that area, what you can get, what square footage goes for, heated square foot. So then we find the perfect home to market it at that MLS price point that you know is going to get the phone ringing, and we kind of go from there. I don't know if that makes sense or covers everything that you were looking for, Doug, or if anybody has any questions on it.
And I think that's pretty much to the point and pretty succinct and easy to understand. Questions? I know some of you have questions. What are you thinking?
Who do you use for lending? Who's your go-to person for lending first? Because some of these are tricky.
Some of them are tricky. I like to use a guy named Chris Whittington out of Coastal Carolina National Bank just because I have a relationship with him. But again, I'm open. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, whoever wants to use whatever referral service they want to use, that's perfectly fine.
Guys, Ben can do construction.
You're talking
cornerstone. So
I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So most of this stuff that you're talking about, I mean, I've done a handful of custom builds. The construction to perm part, when you were talking about the package deal or whatever, my experience, like you were just saying, no builder is going to take that risk and buy the land, right? So it's most likely, okay, like a VA construction, like are you certified VA construction to perm builder? Are you
I'm a
able
veteran
to do
myself
VA?
too. I haven't gone through that process, but I don't
Oh,
see why I wouldn't get approved.
huh. Okay. I mean, pretty much the same thing. Like you find the lot, you go under, like it's essentially two contracts, right? So we're going to have a contract for the land with the seller through MLS. That's a deal that we're doing. And then we have a contract with the builder. So it's two separate deals, but it's a package, like you're saying. But like for VA and lending purposes, like we couldn't close on the land until we had all the plans squared away with the builder because we had to have the VA appraise it based on the pack. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, I guess my question to you would be like, how long do we need to tell buyers that they need to be under contract for the lot? Like, how long does it take with you to figure out, okay, they need to secure this land and they want to build with you? How long is it going to take them to figure out exactly what that final number is going to be so they can execute a contract and feel comfortable with the purchase?
That really depends on the
Yeah.
person coming to the table, right? How fast can they make decisions? And do they know what they want, right? If we run across a floor plan that they absolutely love, automatically they don't want to change anything about it, it would take me a week to put it together. It wouldn't take me long at all.
Okay.
If we
Okay.
needed to have it to you the next day, I probably
Okay.
could. It's when you run into clients that, not really sure what they want. But that could take all the way up to like 4 to 6, I'd say would probably be max.
Yeah. So you have like packages of like your specs and all that kind of stuff they're going to go into, like, are we going to be putting that on MLS? Like, okay, here's the house, here's what you get, blah blah blah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, realtors kind of do it however they feel comfortable doing it. So I have some that want to list every
Mhm.
spec. I have some that just want to list generic because these are just proposed homes that we're using. Like the home I just showed you, we can
Mhm.
absolutely use
Mhm.
any of
Mhm.
these marketing materials, right? But who's to say what this
Mhm.
window brand manufacturer is? Right? And that's just one scope of work, and that can depend on builder grade, can depend on where we're building. I might have access to a manufacturer in
Yeah.
Myrtle Beach that I don't have access to in, say, Raleigh or something like that, right? So it wouldn't be cost
Yeah.
effective. So it'd be almost like a per build. So that's why they like to kind of keep it a little more open on their MLS listings. And I have a bunch that you guys could look through too. So my website's
Okay.
actually pretty informative. It looks like this right here. But you can absolutely scan it, look around. I have new custom homes, I have available homes, but I have current listings. And these are all my listings right now that I have with realtors throughout Brunswick County, Onslow, Duplin, New Hanover, all the way through. So you can feel free to peruse these, how they kind of did it.
Gotcha.
It just
Okay.
makes life easier. And then this is the best thing realtors really like about my website. There's a realtors tab right here. You just click on that. And right down here. It's like a 3-minute doodle video that kind of explains a little more in depth of how we partner with realtors and how that program kind of works.
Okay.
And like he said,
Now, of course, we would have to
somebody
get the
might not even
seller on
be
board
interested
with
in
that.
that plan
Oh,
at all.
sorry, what? Sorry, Doug, I think you got cut off. What's going on?
I was just saying, kind of like we mentioned, somebody might not even be interested in that plan at all. It might go a completely different direction. It's just to say, hey, we've got somebody already lined up to help you with this piece of property. This is just kind of to wet your whistle and get the conversation started.
Yeah, I feel like and even feedback from the multiple realtors that I work with before I really get in touch with them, their biggest concern is, people look at land and that's all they look at. They have questions, they get confused, they tend to walk away, right? Especially if they don't have a builder that they could talk to right off the bat about maybe just that piece of dirt in general and start to have questions about that. And that's where I jump in. If you can, you guys would be the ones taking like fielding those initial phone calls about that house, but the minute they ask anything that you guys wouldn't be sure about, loop me into the conversation. That's when I jump in and I can kind of take it from there.
What's your build time ground up for, like, let's just say 2,000 square foot house?
Slab on grade.
Yeah, mostly slab.
From I'd say shovel in the ground to CO, probably 6 months.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
damn. That's quick for custom build.
Shovel in the ground. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking ranch style, like again, it depends on the supplies that we're pulling because
Yeah.
and it depends on
Yeah.
how they're financing. Because if I'm working with a bank, then I got to work off a bank
Yeah.
draws, and that hits different inspection
Yeah,
timelines.
yeah.
But if they're cash buyers, yeah, I could do 6 months, all the way to 8, depending on how they're financing it.
Okay.
Ryan, I know obviously builds change based on the plan, based on the finish, blah, 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 blah. But if you had to just throw a number at the wall as a rough estimate for, dollar per square foot, is there a particular number that you think you come in at typically?
No. I know how cheap I can build a house for based on everything being the lowest possible cost we could find, most economical solutions to every scope of work. But when it comes to square footage, I'm 100% customizable builder. So no, that largely depends on what these guys want to do with their home. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thinking of it in that way, if we do run across any buyers that are looking for that type of number, right? I just want the most economical thing you could possibly build. I don't know that they're really looking for a custom home anyway. They're probably more looking for
Fair.
that.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Perfect.
probably in that, DR Horton, Lennar, Meritage. And honestly,
Yeah.
that's not really a world we want to mess in anyway, because we're never going to
Sure.
win.
That's a great question and a perfect answer, I think. I mean, this is not aimed at that type of consumer, so
Right.
and you pay for it.
So Ryan, I haven't had a chance to look at your website. Do you have a design center so our clients can come in and go ahead and pick their cabinetry and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. They're spread out all across North Carolina, depending on where you're building. So
Awesome.
yeah, I can link to any design centers, cabinets, countertops, not necessarily CBG, but any builders use these guys for suppliers, if they want to go in and look at a display, I can absolutely like here if they want to see lighting, I can send them Shalot Lighting. I have a contact over there that can walk them through. They're going to know way more than I am about finishes for the home or different kind of countertops that they want to pick out or different kind of edge styles. So I leave that to those guys and those really nice showrooms that they have.
Awesome.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
If you have somebody that is doing the package deal and is like obviously going under contract for the land, is there anything that you want or need that they need to have done during their due diligence before they close on the land, i.e. a survey? Because all the custom home builds I've done in the past, the builders obviously handle the clearing, the grading, the septic, the permitting, the la 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 la. Although the one that I sold in Pecan Grove, like they had the survey, so we were able to like take that to the builder, while we were under contract for the land, like, is there something that you need to have that's helpful? Or because half the time these sellers, I'm telling you, they don't have surveys on their lots. They just don't.
I know. Yeah, no, I'm well aware. And half the time, and probably more than half the time, they don't even want to invest the money to get a survey done to
Mm-mm.
sell their land. I have clients
Mm-mm.
that are running, $600,000 properties, but don't want to invest $1,500 to survey it, which answers a lot of
Mm-hmm.
questions for us. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, it is what it is. But no, yeah, to answer your question, a survey, if I can get it, it's going to be a survey, land, tree, and topography. That's about the $1,500.
Okay.
If you want to do a simple land survey, great. You can
Yeah.
probably get away with like $700-800. But if you're messing with an
Yep.
ARB or HOA, they
Yeah.
typically ask for a
Yeah.
tree survey anyway. And I'd hate to send two surveyors out at the same time. So I always tell somebody,
Yeah.
depending on the size of the lot and how wooded it is, $1,500 is probably what you're looking at. But then again, I can pull on a survey if they really need a number, they want to do it through me. But that's just
Yeah.
hopefully we can get that done prior to actually talking to somebody about buying this land. But a lot of the clients want to hold
Yeah.
that to like a due diligence period. And that's where, as a builder, I
Mhm.
would never let any of my clients ever buy a piece of property that has not been surveyed. I would, because potentially I'm the one that's going to have to
Yeah.
do that
100%.
work. So I'm going to advise them to do that, whether it's prior to purchasing that lot or during due diligence. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of where your client, current landowner,
Mm-hmm.
might
Mm-hmm.
want to think about getting that done,
Mm-hmm.
just so we know there's going to be no red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Yeah, because when I sold my lot out here in Sneeds Ferry, she was building with her custom builder by herself. Which is fine. Like, I wasn't involved in any of that, but I closed on the land, and the seller thankfully had a survey that she was able to give to the builder. And so she was able to, save money that way and all the
Yep,
good things. So, all
absolutely.
right,
And then
fair
the
enough.
next biggest thing would be if it's a lot that has municipal water and sewer. So
Mm-hmm.
if it
Yeah.
requires a septic tank, right? We absolutely need to
Mm-hmm.
know, is it going to perk, right? And percolation
Right.
tests on any land that requires a septic tank, they do it by bedroom size, right? They do a percolation,
Yep.
certified for a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom. That would absolutely
Mm-hmm.
factor into what kind of house we can market for that lot.
Yep. Yep. And if you go through the county, I don't know your experience, but it's mostly, if you do that through the county, you're looking at about 3-4 week turnaround, and a little bit more expensive, quicker with the private company that we can do.
A little bit more expensive, quicker with a private company, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I have realtors that run live MLS listings with me that put that language in their, proposed home based on, getting a valid septic permit, something like
Oh,
that.
gotcha.
To
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
live,
Right.
right?
Right.
Just to
Right.
get around that
Yeah.
for now. And then we'll run like a
Yeah.
3-bed, 2-bath.
Yeah. But that's something that the buyer. So are you able to give sometimes these, yes, the municipal sewer and the municipal water is available, but I've run into situations where the seller has thought they tapped into it and didn't, and like a whole thing. So I know that every county is different. Like, you normally wrap up the fees for tapping into all of the utilities in the build, correct? That's not something that a buyer has to figure out.
No, not at all. No. In a perfect world, we're going to bring the buyer in.
Yeah.
And while we figure out what they
Yeah.
want to do with their home, that's all going to be part of it. That's what I call, on my side, a phase called design and discovery. And that's where they jump in and we actually start
Yeah.
digging through their home and figuring out their fees and what it's going to cost to build the home that they want on their lot. And at the end of design and discovery, that's when I propose them, hey, I'll build this house for this much. And they tell me yes or no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Anybody else? Good questions, good discussion. A lot of great info. Mark, you got something?
No, I'm listening intently.
Okay. Well, guys, this is just another tool, another arrow to put in your quiver, right? So another option to offer not only your buyers, but your sellers. I mean, that you've got somebody who's
Yeah.
looking to sell some vacant land. This is another thing that you can pitch in your listing presentation. Hey, we're not just putting a sign on your piece of dirt. We're looking at different ways to market it to draw more people in, to set you out and above, everybody else. So this is how I'm working for you, and you don't even really know it. So keep that in mind. Use this, utilize it, make sure you're telling your folks about it. Ryan, I don't remember. I know you sent me the website. Do you have a PDF or anything that you could share with us? It's like a 1-page or 2-pager that kind of highlights you and your business and kind of what the setup looks like that we could use as part of our listing presentations for folks who do vacant land. And it doesn't have to be anything you have right now, just maybe something you could put together that you could share with any agent you work with.
Yeah, I have like little kind of like, let's see if this is what you're looking for. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
Little handouts.
Yeah.
That I could drop off at realtors' offices, basically showing you, how to increase your commissions and stuff like that.
Well, even if you got something digital that we can just save on our desktop.
Yeah. I'll see if I can't find this in the PDF form. I know I got it somewhere, but I can send that to you, no problem.
Okay. And just send it to me, and once you do, I'll send it out to the whole team, and then that way everybody will have your contact info and everything as well.
This was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Anybody has any questions? If you want,
Yeah, no kidding.
Thank you. Want me to give out my direct cell or anything like that, or?
Yeah, go ahead and drop it.
That would be great.
Okay. Yeah, if you call the 910 number, that's just the honestly the business line. I don't ever answer it because it's a lot of sales calls. I'm sure you guys get them too.
Yeah.
So my direct cell, if you have any questions, you can shoot me a text. Best way to communicate with me is area code 843-315-4768.
Thank you.
No problem.
Got a great website.
Thanks.
Yeah, you do.
Lot of
I
information
can take the
there.
credit for it, but somebody else put it together.
Yeah, it looks really good. Do you have specs out there where no, you don't do specs at all? Okay.
No,
Because I know some custom home builders do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
And it's it's not a bad business model. It's just not something that I'm trying to focus on.
No,
I like to build what people want
I was
instead of like
curious.
try to guess at it. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's absolutely a way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care.
Good to know.
I didn't have to either. I don't blame you.
Less risk involved.
Yeah.
My way.
A lot. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Damn it, they didn't do a walk-in shower in this bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Right. One thing's off that they just don't like.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
That's it. My people,
Doug,
100% doesn't exist unless you build it.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Yeah, Doug, if that's all you need from me, I can jump off. You tell me.
Anybody else have any questions, Ryan? Okay, that's it.
All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
No problem.
Hey,
Thank
everybody,
you.
hold on 1 second, please.
What you got?
I just meant the team.
Oh, all right, bye, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Ryan.
you, Ryan.
I just want to let you all know, I just sent an email about the Unite conference coming up in April. Boomtown and Bold Trail are owned by the same company now, so it's a similar conference that I've been to several times in the past. If you're interested in going, let me know. Certainly not required, but some other people have asked about it, so I just wanted to put it out there. If you're not doing anything like this, it's not a bad idea to do it once a year, to be in the room with other people who do this all day, every day in different parts of the country, and just hear about other things that are happening in the industry. So just check it out and let me know. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Y'all have a great day, and holler if you need anything. Okay.
Thank you, Doug. You too.
Thank
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, Doug.